Alright guys, Fula with another video. Shout outs to the whole LDVC. So apparently my video about nature nut, nature hoe got so much response that someone asked me, a couple of people asked me, oh, can you do another video? And I'm not doing these videos for like clout or doing these videos for like exposure. I'm doing these videos to hopefully make people realize common sense and make people realize and open their eyes up to the bigger situation. I'm not doing it for like exposure. I don't need exposure, man. Even one of my teachers, one of my great African sages said that you should always be under the shade of obscurity. And I'd rather be obscured than be in the spotlight. But because people ask me to do these things, I do it because they ask. So, in a recent live that Nature Boy had with one of his reflections, the reflection admitted to actually sexually molesting a baby and actually sticking the finger inside the baby. Okay? Nature Boy went ahead and quoted from the Bible and said, he who cast, quoted that story with Jesus, upon whom be peace, that, oh, he who kills let who's not a sinner cast the first stone. And you don't use that kind of thing to, in a way, justify those kind of actions. Do you realize that there's a saying, if you kill a person, you kill all of mankind. And that's the same thing with molesting someone. If you molest someone, you're molesting all of mankind. Because guess what? They're going to carry that on with them over and over and over again. To another generation, to another generation, to another generation. You don't just harm that person. You harm people that are coming. So it's never okay. It's never okay to do that. But yet, his reflections, co-sign it, his reflections are all for it. Oh, he asked for forgiveness, so that's okay. Do you know in Africa, and I'm just going to be real with you, do you know in Africa, and especially in my parts of Africa, my cousin who's doing business in Mali, right? He told me they burnt two homosexuals alive for trying to kidnap little kids and expose them to that lifestyle. Do you know that if Nature Boy was doing the shit he is doing right now, back home we would burn his ass alive to protect the society? We don't need that. We already have enough problems in society. We're not going to let that stuff slide. And I'm saying this to a point where my point that I'm trying to get across is that he doesn't love himself. Okay? He doesn't love other people. Because I'm going to tell you something. If you really love yourself, you're going to examine yourself. You're going to think about your faults. You're going to try to improve upon that. You're going to try to be better than you were before. You're not going to do that kind of thing. You're not going to say, as he said in the live video, I'm not going to pull up the live video, but when he had a problem with it's not even his wife, it's his whore. When he had a problem with his whore, and they were about to leave, or she was about to leave, and he's like, oh, I'm not letting her take the baby, you know. And they were talking about it and discussing it. They were saying, oh, find some almond milk, find some coconut milk, find some grass milk. He joked. This is how he joked. And this is not even a joke to me. If I was there, I would. Oh my God, man. I don't even, it just upsets me so much, you know. And don't think that I go around and all I'm doing is paying attention to his videos. I have a life to live, you know, and I live my life, you know. But I got to speak out on bullshit, especially when it's blatant bullshit that keeps on repeating itself over and over again. You know what he said? He said, and he's pushing the narrative of being in the baby shoes. This is what he said when his whore was saying, oh, almond milk, coconut milk, grass milk. This is what he said. Oh, just bust the nut and give me some cum. Is that remotely funny? Is that supposed to be funny? And there they are laughing about it. I'm going to tell you something, man. And this was one of the things that my African sages, I call them African avatars, in our system of African esoteric practices, indigenous to the continent. Their whole thing was spiritual purification. The physical armed struggle with wars, that was the lesser struggle. The greatest struggle was that which was inside your heart. Okay, so if you had envy in your heart, if you had jealousy in your heart, if you had greed in your heart, if you had lust in your heart, if you had these kind of inclinations towards doing these things, your whole purpose in life was to battle those things, not indulge them. Because I'm going to tell you something. If you don't fix your heart, that sickness in your heart transfers to all your limbs. Okay? And I'm going to tell you something. Because he hasn't fixed anything in his heart, it transfers to his limbs. Look at his face. It's crooked. Look at his hair. Unkempt. Look at his environment. Someone told me that they got lice there. So he doesn't love himself. He hates himself. They don't love themselves. They hate themselves. Because if they really love themselves, guess what? They're not going to condone the bullshit that he does. And he tries to say Christ consciousness, Christ this, Christ that. I'm going to tell you something, man. The esoteric meaning behind Jesus getting crucified, he didn't get crucified, okay? I'm going to tell you that right now. He didn't physically get crucified. What that whole crucifixion meant is that he was sacrificing all of his lowly desires. He was sacrificing all of that. And because he did sacrifice all of that, he became one with God. It wasn't a physical crucifixion. It was a sacrifice of those physical things that basically would lead him to damnation. That's the thing. That's what that sacrifice meant. So when you see the four corners of the cross, all of those things represented a lust, a desire, something that was in his heart. Whether it be love for wealth, whether it be greed, whether it be anger, whatever the case may be. It did not mean physically getting put on the cross. Even with the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. When he went to the Kaaba and that's the black stone, and he smashed all the idols in that Kaaba. All that meant is it was symbiotic of our hearts and smashing greed, envy, lust, love of rank. That's all that meant. Okay? On the surface, it meant physically idolatry. But it had a deeper spiritual meaning. And I can't get into everything. Every esoteric system draws from the same source, okay? It's just that humans corrupt and bastardize it. And with our African esoteric practices, we look at the universality of things. That's why we recognize every single spiritual guide as a guide. Okay? He may have a different name. That's why we recognize Orishas as basically an extension of God's attributes. That's why you have the Orisha Ogun, and they call him the God of War. He's not necessarily the God of war. He's just the physical manifestation of God's anger against oppression, of God's assistance against oppression. That's all it means. But back to my point. If they really love themselves, if they truly, really love themselves, they would truly examine what they're doing. Truly examine how it affects people. Truly examine what they're putting out. Truly examine if their action will lead to a desired reaction that will benefit them and benefit those who follow them. But they don't. All they're following is their blind lust and desires, and basically putting it in the cloak of consciousness. That's all they're doing. Now I'm going to leave you with one more thing. I'm going to just leave you with this, and then I'm going to be done. And you may not hear any more videos from me about this chump for a while, because he blocked me because he don't want my smoke. You know, because I'll crush him. I don't even have to be intellectually inclined. I can just debate him using symbolisms and crush his ass, basically. I mean, let's be honest. Let's be honest. I can even do one real quick. You take the example of a raisin, right? A raisin starts as a grape. It starts as a grape, right? You dry it out for long, it becomes shriveled up, and it becomes like weak looking, right? What do you see over there? Because they're not in balance. They're saying, oh, we're getting our vitamin D sunlight. We're melanated beings. We need sunlight, this, that, and the other. But guess what? They're all shriveling up. Because their body is not balanced with the natural elements. Their body, everybody's body is made up of earth, wind, water, and fire, okay? Because they're imbalanced, and fire, the fire of passion, the fire of lust, the fire of desire, the fire of ego has gotten to them so much, that's why they're shriveling up like they are. You know, and I can go into much more, but I'm not going to go into much more. I got to run an errand right now. You know, I have a lot of customers that I cater to. So I'm going to leave you guys with that. Okay? And for other people who request, you know, I may do other videos based on requests, but I don't really like doing videos like this. I don't really like going into details with how I was brought up in a traditional village setting. I don't like going into that stuff, because not many people will understand it. You know, not many people will understand the symbolisms and things that I was raised with. And his followers, of course, will say that I'm colonialized and stuff like that. when it's actually the complete opposite. They're colonialized because they have a slave master mentality. If he was a true master teacher, he would breed other master teachers. Even my teacher said, one of my teachers said, it's easier for me to create 15,000 teachers than it is for me to overcome my desires. But he doesn't want anybody else to be a teacher. Because in order to be a successful teacher, you have to be able to teach other people who in turn will be able to teach other people and continue the chain. But he's not that. So all I gotta say is, I'm not gonna say I love myself. I'm gonna say I'm in constant struggle and toil with myself. That's what I'm gonna say. And that's how I'm gonna end this video. Leave your thoughts, leave your comments, and let me know what you guys want to see next, if you guys want to see anything next. I'm off till the next one. Njara.